Okay, so Larry, you were getting into the
Well,
Hong
just
Kong history.
well, just to wrap that up, like I said, after China overtook Hong Kong and all the Swiss companies went away from Hong Kong, that was by before year 2000 they were all gone except one. One Swiss-owned manufacturing company remains to this day, and that's George von Berg. So, I mean, it is the last remaining Swiss-owned factory in Hong Kong. We're very proud to say, that's our factory, and the only product coming out of that factory is Stuhrling Original. So, it puts us in a different place. And of course, I've been there, obviously, and gone around Hong Kong with George. I've gone into China, of course. I mean, it's all China, but you have to cross over. With Alex, who's the general manager of our factory, and what have you. And I can just tell you that when George walks in to one of these places that make the components and what have you, they stand at attention. I mean, they really do, because they see von Berg holds a unique place, not only in the Swiss industry, which he does because of what his grandfather did and his father, but also in the whole world of China. They see George as a gateway to the American market, and people can see they can say whatever they want about the American market is down and all this kind of stuff. But believe me when I tell you, these companies overseas, they still want the American market more than any other market in the world. Believe me.
And with that, Larry, thank you for the insight on that. Let's talk about the Winchester. I want to run the math very quickly. When Stuhrling brought this out, the U.S. retail is $1,295. You can certainly pay less than that. There is no question. But I'm pretty sure we've got one of the best, if not outright the best deals out there. We're offering this for $99, shipping included. And we're going to hear in the studio, there may be some others on the site. We're going to show you the black, the gold tone, and the silver. Larry, I guess one of the places we can start on this, obviously we're talking about Stuhrling Original. You've been talking so much about the mechanical and the automatic legacy. We're moving now from the bridge mechanical into one of the automatic builds.
Yeah, the Winchester. I mean, the Winchester was probably one of our top 10, maybe even top 5. It's hard to say. We started making all different variations of it, okay? And it was popular because skeletons were very popular on our program, and it was one of our most popular skeletons, along with the Alpine and the Delphi. Those were the top 3. But the reason I think the Winchester was so popular was because originally it had no dial, and we probably made 20 different variations of it. This is a new one, and I'll tell you a little bit about that, what I like about it. But going back in history, just to let you know, I think what made the Winchester so popular was the fact that it had literally no dial whatsoever. So there was absolutely nothing to obscure your view of the movement. I mean, that's the whole purpose of a skeleton, is you want to see inside the movement. You want to see to the movement and even inside the movement to see the gears and the pallet fork and the regulator wheel and the mainspring and all these different components of the watch. And usually there's a dial that's cut out, and you can see through the cutout into. With the Winchester, there was absolutely no dial, and it was just the movement that was being held by a carriage, and it had little spokes like a wagon wheel that would go out, and those spokes would be the hour markers. And we might have had the 12, 3, 6, and 9 or something like that. There were different versions of it, bracelet, rubber strap, all kinds of things. Well, this new one here we call the Legacy, or the Classic. It's a more modernized version. First of all, it's a 42 millimeter, not a 44, which our original one was 42. Then we went to 44. We made a few other sizes. We even went up to like a 47 too. But this is very much of a dress size. Okay. So if you like to have a nice dress piece that you can wear to work with a nice cuff shirt, long sleeve shirt, or a coat, a sport coat, or a suit, this is going to look like $1 million. And instead of having absolutely no dial, it just has a little thin minute marker. I don't have it in front of me right now, Tim, but it has a little thin minute marker track going around the inside, and the rest is completely exposed.
It's like a halo.
Yeah, and it's very narrow, and it also has our movement, which is a new upgraded movement from the old 90050. This is the new 90650. So it's a little bit improved, very steady movement. We don't have any problems with these movements, with the 90050, the 90089, or this one, the 90650, because it's just simple time. It's 3 hands. It's hours, minutes, and seconds, and it runs like a top. I mean, it's super reliable. It's skeletonized, as you can see right here, 42 millimeter size. And again, I'm going to lean on our manufacturing on this. solid stainless steel like all of our timepieces. And as you can see with this one right here, this is the black PVD. Physical vapor deposition. So it's all on top of 316-ounce surgical grade stainless steel. You can take a look at the case back. You'll see that it's got notches going around the perimeter. So that tells you that it is a threaded case back. It's screwed in. It's properly made. You don't have to worry about, a pop-off case back or anything like that.
Exactly, right?
It's all correctly made. Genuine French leather. We use one of the finest tanneries you can use in the business. It's got the square grain alligator emboss on it. Yeah.
Yeah, this is, Larry, absolutely beautiful stuff. I'm looking over here to the side, and again, our director Sebastian's getting some beautiful cuts here. Our response on the web is just huge. Again, if you are just joining us, you look to the right, there's going to be a link that we pin right to the top. Just click that, and you're going to see not only this watch, but all of the watches we're doing for this show are going to fall down. Final pricing, again, this one, which is such a great exhibition of what's the power of what Talk About Watches does when we go directly with manufacturers whenever possible. And the answer is something like this. We not only get the expert of Stuhrling, Larry Magen, on the show with his expertise, but look at the pricing. This one lists for $1,295, $99, shipping included. So yeah, we got a ton of traffic over there. Right now, and this is still early, but it looks like gold tone may go first, but there's a number of selections, among them silver tone, black, and of course the gold tone that I just mentioned. Let me also, again, very quickly here, go over the packaging. This is going to be the packaging you guys get, which is that really beautiful orange with the look of the gold leaf going on. Larry, I think you and I collectively have said this many times historically, but one of the things that I love about Stuhrling and why I've collected them over the years is what you guys do for dollars spent. It really belies the price point that you guys are able to do to the public.
Well, especially for the make, for the quality, and that's something that
Right.
It may be hard to convey, over the video, over TV, over the internet. You have basically our word telling you what the make is. Many times, Tim, you know this. You and I have both been in DRTV. Even before you and I met. You and I go back to about 2004, but I was in it way back in the 90s, and I know you were too. And sometimes you can put something under the camera, and the camera can make it look incredible. But my point is this: until you get this in your hand, and I think that's one of the key things about Stuhrling, people get it in their hand and they go, man, this feels like a Swiss-made watch, man. You can feel the heft
to it. There's a real weight.
Yeah.
By the way, Larry mentioned the historically if you want to call them the tricks or whatever. Talk About Watches does not use any filters at all. We're not putting star filters or anything else. We do some basic white balancing and that's it. So what you see, we're trying as faithfully as possible to reproduce. So when you get this home, you go, yeah, that's what I saw. I can tell you that with us, the return rate is almost nil. And Larry, one of the reasons for that, I think, is because we don't use the filters and stuff like that, but also because we're not regulated. We don't have somebody saying you have to get on this product now or get off this product now. We can actually delve into real information. And I think that the people that are fans of the show and the people that buy from us have so much information to make an informed decision that they know before they get this home what the product is going to be. And when they do get it home, they're pleasantly surprised that very oftentimes it actually exceeds the way that we described it. So thanks for bringing that up.
Some people would argue that, well, yeah, you're the leader because your watches are lower priced.
It is such a definitive product when it comes to value, and that's just a fact. You think that Larry and I are unique in the watch world? There are tens of thousands of people around the world that collect Stuhrling. I can't even tell you how many I have. I don't know, but I know it's a lot. And these are beautiful, beautiful watches in person, whether you're spending, in this case, this is such a deal, man, from $12.95 down to $99. You want to check out Talk About Watches, you want to check out Stuhrling, go with this one. But Larry, I want to get to that Torby. So your final thoughts, if you would, on the Winchester, and then we'll take a quick time out and we'll come back and do the Tourbillon for you guys.
Well, sure. Final thought would be, and this really applies to both. It applies to the Bridge and also to the Winchester, really, is they're both incredible conversation pieces. I think one of the reasons why people like skeletons watches, and the Bridge, I would categorize that as a skeleton because you can see right through it. There's not much, blocking your view there. So they're great conversation pieces. They're great conversation starters. People look at it and go, "Oh my God, I can see all the moving parts and everything." There's no battery in the watch. It's watchmaking the old-fashioned way, and you can show somebody. You see that? That's the mainspring. Okay, that's what powers this watch. There's no battery in the watch, and you see that little woodpecker right there? That's the pallet fork, and that's what's releasing the time, onto from the mainspring into the drivetrain, and it does it in little intervals. So people are fascinated by this. It's watchmaking the old-fashioned way, and you can actually see it.